It is the Griff. Like, God damn it.
Are you gonna just remember to like not mute Turk during one of these?
Okay. All right. Can I do this thing now? Am I ready? Can I do this
Yes.
thing? Okay, I'm gonna do this thing now. All right. It is the grim darkness of the 42nd millennium. The Imperium of Man, still rent in twain by the Cicatrix Maledictum, the Great Rift. We follow a group of holy acolytes, dedicated individuals in his holy ordos, who are following a case on a planet on the dark side of the Imperium. Good morning, afternoon, and/or evening, depending upon time zone, ladies, gents, and those in between and beyond the time that binary of the internet. Welcome back to Neon Lights Roleplay, and more specifically, welcome back to By His Shadowed Peace. Where we last left off, before I do the last left off stuff. I'm your host, Federation and Freed, Young Foxy, and around me, I have 4 dedicated souls, 4 sworn defenders, 4 inquisitive individuals who are here to, I guess, discover a truth of some kind. I'll let you know who they are, but they'll tell you that more themselves, and then we'll kind of get back settled in before we start our adventure for the evening. So, in the order that I call you out, friends, please tell the crowd at home who you are, who you're playing this evening, where you can be found on the internet, and yeah, that's it. Just those 3 things. Starting off with our, I guess, de facto squad captain. Smooth talking, noir swag bringing, and local guide presenting. The incredible Enendelis Barris Corbin is played by one of my dearest and personal friends. Will introduce themselves just now. Go on ahead, Dan.
Hello, I am Land the Dan. You wouldn't know I was smooth talking if you've been watching the series so far. But I do play, in fact, Barris Corbin, our source of local intel. Just a guy, some people have called him. Others have called him the second Swag Kazakage. But I can be found on the internet, on Twitter, at Land the Dan. I'm not on Blue Sky yet, because I feel like there's other people who need those codes more than I do.
Well, aside Blue Sky codes, which we'll get you over there eventually, Dan, but before we do that, we have more cast to introduce. And so, swinging it over from one of my closer personal friends over to another, as I mentioned, someone who has shared the screen with me for countless scenes, quite a few games, and more than a few heartfelt moments which have touched both of us and several of you at home. If you have been around here for Neil Roleplay for a while, you of course know that I'm talking about the incredible and incomparable Michelle.
Hello, it's me, Michelle. Yeah. I don't exist on social media, so don't go looking for me anywhere. But, besides that, today I'll be playing Aria Yun Contour, our sister of battle. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I can say to her beyond, hey, she's the medic and she will cut you. Make sure that you will stay down so she can treat you.
I'm normally a healer, but in any case, moving on from two of my lovely favorite personal friends onto someone who I've only met through this space, this journey, these stories of ours, but who has grown quickly to become a close and personal part of my heart. Someone who I've shared long conversation, more than a few snacks and drinks with, and at least a few good laughs. I'm of course talking about the internet's one and only Turk XXVII.
I was so ready for it to be heartbroken and for me to get up on stage and accept the Rom Award again. I've done it before, folks.
It's true, it happened.
But, hello everyone, I am Turk, or Turk Accented, if like me, you are sitting down today because your feet hurt a little bit. And that's my whole entire story as a person. I am playing Zadkiel Delos, a Lamenter, or rather a Space Marine from the Lamenters chapter, and everything is fine, everything is cool, everyone's getting along, everyone is under the Emperor's loving gaze, and there's certainly no heresy, mutants and or Xenos amongst our squad. That would be impossible, even though the Brimrose has made it very clear I should be very accepting of everyone. I'm not getting fucking put to the fucking high courts of terror again. You can't make me.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fair. Okay, I can respect that. Well, Zakiel's internal traumas aside, which we'll come back to them, don't you worry. We have one last member of our cast to introduce. Going from one person who I've met in this lovely little internet space of ours to, of course, one more. Someone who I've had the pleasure of being not only stupidly intoxicated around, but also sharing some of my deep and personal thoughts. Someone who is a kindred spirit, a soul that operates like mine, a brain that we share a brain cell with here and there, and someone whose creative process inspires me on and on every day. With that said, it gives me great pleasure to round out our cast by bringing you all right back to know Meg Mysteria and, of course, their cat.
Yes, I am Meg and/or Meg Mysteria, and with me on screen tonight is Raja, the Menace. Oh, are you leaving now? Okay.
He's leaving now, of course.
I've made my
but-
entrance and now I make my exit.
But
As soon as you
I-
acknowledged him, he ceased to exist.
Exactly. Schrodinger's cat. Anyway, I get to bring back Laura Talone, who definitely has nothing that she's hiding. And definitely specifically from Zadkiel. Nothing at all. Plead the fifth. Is there a plead the fifth for the Imperium?
Are you still holding that shtick up at this point? Really? Wow, that's
Yes, I am.
That's
I'm
commitment.
dedicated. Until there is a reveal on camera, I am sticking to the bit.
You said it. Ominous notes aside.
Species reveal party.
You all need to be better than this. Friends, hello. I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite fox, Philly's finest. And I play everyone that's not these four incredible people, including all the vast world and around them. And with that said, I'll settle us back into that world as we were. Last session. Quite an interesting one. After witnessing the murder of Orme Uten, the party stood to, at least at first, try to accost themselves of the body, to take it with them, as it were. They were, however, pretty rapidly cut off by the imposing hand of one guard Captain Rannick, who pretty rapidly, not so much apprehended as made it very clear that the party should come along with her. Seemingly unimpressed, but aware of their inquisitorial status, they come with a guard captain and are offered at least some time with the body alone before having to meet with her. This time for autopsy reveals many great things, namely that the politician, well, seems to hold well to the facade that he had been maintaining along with, you know, the persona that he showed, but also that the shot taken to kill him was done from an impossible distance, at an incredible difficulty, and with a rare powerful weapon known as the bolt rifle. Our party rapidly deduced that there are only about 3 groups readily available who would have access to such a weapon. Perhaps a Xenos working with on their own goals, an assassin sent from the Assassinorum to take out a target, or an Astartes, and assumedly not one from Zadkiel's chapter. That aside, the party regrouped, took some time to discuss with the guard captain, and made new plans to head out to gain new information from elsewhere on the planet. After checking with their Inquisitor, where they were given some slight leads to follow, and possibly an aid they could gain, although that offer was nebulous, we now find them settled back in their Goliath truck, quietly figuring out what to do next after, let's say, a turbulent few days. We'll settle the scene back in you all. I'm going to go ahead and assume you guys were going to go or heading out after you're checking with the Inquisitor. So we'll skip through you guys having to get past the gate guards. The city is still on lockdown, so it does take you all reminding the guards on gate that you had a pass from Guard Captain Rannick to get through. But thankfully, with that aside, you're able to slide through and make your way towards, well, begin making your way out in the truck. So if you want to, let me know who's positioned where in the Goliath truck. You have 2 spots up front in the main cabin and a large sort of big, armored area in the back. You could put, your large Space Marine friend or other people in. Let me know where you are, what you're engaging in, and RP as you need, and maybe where you're headed to, so we can figure that out. With that said, darlings, as I often say, the scene is yours.
Well, my positioning is easy. I'm in the back because They won't let me sit up front, put my head out the window. No, I'm not a wolf.
We don't want to be responsible for what happens if your tongue gets caught on.
Try to be closer so I could hit them with my sword. I wish I had a sword. But yeah, I'll be sitting in the back.
My lord, you can borrow my naginata.
You're not helping, are you?
We really haven't had a chance for me to get out of my armor.
I mean,
The
we
container
could,
in which you do so is in the back, so you could easily do so while the truck is moving. Might rock the boat a bit, but
I wear it like second skin, or I guess in this case third skin anyway. So I'll be in quiet contemplation, clearly in his own mind.
and the rest of you?
I am presumably driving.
Makes sense. You are the local. Speaking of which, let me throw some engine sounds in this motherfucker. Also, this music is way too intense for this shit. Turn this shit down some. So, indeed, Barris, you are driving. You're up at the front. Aria, Lara, where are you two?
Aria is also in the back. She has her book open and is sort of just flipping through, singing some hymns, reading some chapters.
Suppose that places Lara in the passenger seat with Varus.
Sounds good enough to me. Anybody actively engaging in anything critically important with one another, or are we all kind of just quietly traveling right now?
Probably just kind of quiet.
Do we want to have the confrontation now or later? Because I feel like we were dancing around it at the end there.
Is that in character or table?
I feel like we were dancing around it is table. Because I think we're all suspicious, and I think like even Barris at this point has an idea.
I just kind of opens her eyes, breaking from her meditation, and asks, What do you mean by confrontation?
Clearly, you're hiding something from us.
And I am
And the
perfectly
command-
content to continue hiding it from you, unless it is pertinent, or the demand to reveal it is thus.
I like knowing who I'm working with. So as far as reasons go, that's enough. Oh shit, my camera's.
There we go.
You're good.
And to properly reveal it, would likely rather not be on the road.
Fair enough. I can respect that. Do the other two passengers have anything to say?
Do you even have the... Yeah, do you have the communication line open?
Or the Skype call.
Or the Skype call. Because we're in the back, so unless you
Yeah.
had like,
Is there a partition up? I don't really know how trucks work.
there's like a comm
There's-
system. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a kind of a cab comm system you can use to kind of like talk to the people in the back and they can respond. Which, you know,
Only be good for
given
one
that,
half of that conversation.
yeah, it's true. I mean, it's true, but also, you know, given that having this conversation via the cab comm means Zadkiel isn't physically present enough to, I don't know, strangle somebody should he get too upset. So I don't know. Maybe this is a good time to do it.
A good time for Cabcom or a good time for Skype call?
You know what? Either, I think, is not a bad idea here.
For the sake of the drama, let's say that the cab line was open. The Capcom was
Yeah,
up.
I like it.
So you at least have the one-sided conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've already said I'm willing to drop it until we are not on the road anymore. You've bailed us out of enough fights that I feel like I owe you that much.
I appreciate that.
Aria flips the book closed. Well, I would personally like to know who I'm working with under the God Emperor's light, but if the captain is okay with it. I'll wait.
You cease your singing, sister. Does something trouble you? No? Nothing?
Yes, but I'm sure some of it can wait.
If you are certain, then. It seems every day the foe grows closer. What time there will be for personal reflection grows short.
Strange things seem to be happening far too often these days.
On that we are agreed.
Arya, the moment those words leave your lips, you would swear you hear laughing in the back of your brain. Just light, faint, like a ghost wind. There and gone so fast you almost don't recognize it. But it's there.
Laura, is that... No.
Is that what?
Do not know how to speak of this. Day at the Administratum. Did you feel anything strange, Witch?
At the Administratum? I wasn't looking for anything. Do you think that something is bothering you?
Perhaps it's nothing. yet.
Occupies your mind so, then I would disagree. It seems like it is something.
My lord, that day at the Administratum when I was searching for Lara, something strange happened.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It didn't feel like psychic force, but something.
Speak plainly. You have no fear of me here. Hopefully.
Don't know. Something called out to me.
You've acted as a channel for the Emperor's light before, had you not? I'd witnessed such a miracle.
It wasn't the light of the Emperor.
Do you believe yourself tainted?
I hope not, my lord.
As do I. Though if the signs begin to show, you know what must be done.
Aria, just again, very faintly, at the back of your head, that same twisted, semi-cackling voice speaks again. They will burn you.
I know.
But fear not, we deal with many foes that seek to rend our minds. The witch is least among those we have fought, who have such capabilities. It could be work of the enemy. Keep strong, keep your faith. The Emperor will provide you clarity.
Protected me thus far. All I can do is have faith.
It is all we have now.
Thank you for your counsel, my lord.
Of course, sister. What value I have, I at least can offer my wisdom of the Emperor's love and light.
And it's as those two in the back. I'm gonna assume for drama that the comm cabin stayed open because that's fun. I like it. I like when party members hear to the secrets. Why not? But separate from that, as you are all sitting there listening to this quietly, those of you, and by those of you I mean the one of you, more aware of the realm beyond, as it were, psychically aware amongst you, feel. You have felt before when investigating and checking into Odin and the areas around him, Lara, occasional moments where he's felt like another psychic presence was sort of probing that area, almost a tendril, a line, a connection to either him or some area around him, possibly. This isn't that. This is a pulse, quick wave of psychic pressure, similar in feeling. In fact, you can probably tell it's maybe the same psyker. Quick pulse, sweeping out. Doesn't last long. It's momentary. It dies almost instantly afterwards. And there is maybe just barely something you can detect in the lingering in the lingering afterglow. But to do that, I would require from you a psychic mastery test, if you'd like.
I would like.
Well, then like.
4, 5, and 6 are icons, right?
Yes. 6 is also meaning it's two. It's 2.
It's 5 total.
Oh, 5 is enough. You nailed it. As that wave pulses out, it is clearly searching for something. And as it recedes, it dies out. The lingering feeling you get from it is sorrow, sadness. And then it's gone.
I feel like this is something I should share because it's not the only time it's happened. Each time we've been on the road, there's been a psyker. Far, far in the distance. Searching for something. Not
You
tell
think
what.
you think we're being followed?
Us particularly, I cannot say. I do not believe so. But I don't believe in coincidences.
You think it might
was
have it?
interesting. This time seems like there was emotion behind it. A sorrow.
Sorrow. You think it has anything to do with our assassin?
A logical association. Perhaps an association with Arme.
I don't like it.
Hasn't been hostile. But that doesn't mean it can't turn, so. Just something to be wary of.
We'll have to be on our guard. And then I can relay this information to Zad, who was presumably not only hearing half of the information, if necessary.
So, as you relay that info to the back of the cabin, to Zad and Aria, who are now also firmly aware of that information, a quick aside as a GM to ask you all a quick question. You're all out on the road again. Where are you headed? What's the play?
Going to Hooters.
That doesn't seem very holy.
I just heard
Oh.
a character and I was just,
I assure you, there's some holes there.
don't trust me.
Anyway, I see my priest go there a lot. Anyway, if I recall correctly, the plan was to head to Mine 6C Primus, as that is not only the potential location of Brimrose's contact, but also on one of those levels is the hideout of a particular gang that might be worth looking into, and could definitely be worth looking into because we have been Well, it might.
Had dealings with them.
We do
before?
have some dealings with them before, yes, but also Arbites.
They also may or may not have
Captain-
something to do with some bombings.
Yeah, Arbites, Captain Rannick
Yeah,
would
that's the
would
important
probably want us to look into that.
As a favor, maybe. Not to mention the Governor Narsal?
Nursolve.
Nursol is also there.
Not a Nursolve. Remember, y'all have the Roll-20 full of all the dramatis personae.
Yeah, Cottoner Solve, one of the traditionalists, has headquarters there. So another person to look into, as Orme was in contact with them, I believe. If my notes are to be. Yeah.
They were at least close enough that she sent guards.
Yeah, Rannick is kind of one of. No, not Rannick, but the personal guards
No,
of
you're
Nursolve.
right.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nursolve's.
You're right. Rannick.
Rannick is under Nursolve, who was sent to protect Odin on the day of his speech, and so clearly there's some history there that has not yet been brought to light. We should look into. So lots of potential threads to explore in Sea Primus.
So, if you're heading to Sea Primus, you have, this is more something Barris you're becoming aware of, and you can narrate this to the group as you want. But as you're making your way out of Manufactorum B Secundus, getting to the other side of the planet, you have a couple of options. One, you could go the simple, the standard route. Hated 2 has been populated for a long time, and some of the more, at least standard routes to get between places have been charted and made mostly safe from some of the worst fauna or other nefarious individuals who might want to rob you of your goods or your life, or worse. So, unfortunately, that path would have to take you to avoid some of the large, high ridges and regions of mountains that K2 has around it. It's a journey that would be safer and easy to do, but it would be longer, much longer. Probably in the span of maybe, I'd say 4 weeks of travel, flat out. And that's including stops to refuel, because there's no way this rock truck is making it without stopping to get refueled a couple times on the way. On the contrary, you could shorten time at least decently by cutting through 1, maybe 2 of those mountain ranges. While they are very dense mountain ranges, there are canyons and valleys that could weave between them. And Maris, you're a local. I could say you've maybe traveled them before, at least maybe once in your life, or you at least have heard of people who've traveled them. However, if you've heard of people who have traveled them, it hasn't been too many. And it's not because people don't try it.
I've heard of plenty of people who traveled them, just not too many who have made it all.
Exactly. Why? Take your pick. Missed a turn, fell off, got lost, had some giant beast from the waste attack them in the middle of the night while they're camping, run into an ash gang and had them get robbed of their things and had to survive on their own and not survive that long. Worse. In any case, those appear to be effectively your 2 best options. Travel the long route, spend a few weeks traveling and not get there for a while. Take the short route, and honestly, if you're looking at the way the mountain ranges work on the map, cutting through at least 1, and if not maybe 2 of these, could cut weeks from your travel time. Probably cut it in half.
Damn. Damn it.
Thanks.
I'm not voting it. My vote doesn't count, but.
Well,
You have the human equivalent of a tank sitting in your back pocket here.
I was about to ask, how confident do you guys feel about any unexpected dangers? I mean, I'd probably tell them what our options are.
Time is not on our side.
Yeah,
I was
well, let's do
thinking the
Barris
exact same
narrate your
thing.
options. Sorry, yeah, please go ahead. Continue.
Yeah.
Go.
All right, team. We've got a choice to make. We have two ways to get to Sea Prime. We have the safe way and fast way. Now, given my standing among certain groups on the planet, I'd normally do the safe way. But We are working an investigation here, and that means time is of the essence. Cutting through the mountain ranges will likely get us there in half the time as taking the established roads. But there's no shortage of dangers out there, including just hazardous driving conditions. We're in a truck.
Time is of the essence, and the Emperor will protect us. I vote the fast route.
They will be expecting caravans of traders, ambitious merchants. If there are foes waylaying the Emperor's commerce, they should be brought to justice.
I don't like that wave you just did.
I just listen.
Foe,
Very, very.
foe who is planning to disrupt the Emperor's commerce.
Me?
Yes,
Disrupt
you.
The Emperor's commerce. The very notion. In any case,
Anyway.
I'd like you, if you could, to, I'd like you, Barris, as the one driving, to make me some kind of piloting or driving check to see how well you're navigating as you start to turn towards the ravine. I'll narrate accordingly. And while he's doing that, I'd like someone else, probably Lara, as you're the one that has the best outside view, given you're not in the armored cabin in the back, to roll some kind of awareness or other kind of check to see, just to also keep your eyes on, to have a second set of eyes on the road as travel moves on. Take your time figuring out what you roll.
There's honestly not a lot of like, I mean, there's a pilot skill, but I feel like that's more for like, I could do that, but like.
No, I think
Other than
piloting is
that,
what you want here.
Okay. Because like other than that, there's not a lot of like, handle machinery.
Yeah, I think piloting is what you want here, frankly. Unless you have
Like
to
finesse
navigating, shit like that.
Because yeah, that's what Barris is most worried about. Fucking
Wow, you
flying off
gotta
the cliff.
Fix on the grass.
So that's 3 regular icons and 1 and a wrath critical.
Yep, that's a Wrath critical. Well. All right then.
That's the 6, right? Is the
Yes,
wrath
it sure
critical?
is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well done. So, in that case, I'll start to narrate a bit.
Which I'm still getting used to my microphone placement.
You're fine. Barris, you swing the car left. You swing the Goliath left and start to trudge away from the more well-trodden path into some of the lower valleys and find yourself descending into a sort of deep ravine, ridged on either side by a high mountain range. The ravine goes on for a good few miles. You're going to be taking this trek for a good stretch of the time. In fact, you'll probably be coming out of the ravine by the time the sun is passed fully over behind you all, and it delves into night, and it's time to get some rest. Which you know for a fact, while the Goliath has pretty good floodlights, traveling at night would save you even more time, and you could do it. It's even more dangerous. That's a choice you have to make as a squad. At the very least, stopping to, reset and, figure things out, maybe rest and get a little nap before you travel to the night might be not a bad idea. As you're moving through this ravine, the high, dark brown rock pressing and jagged ahead of you, the Goliath plods on, taking the rough ground as best as it can on its wide double tires. Laura, have you made that awareness, perception, or other sort of roll to keep some eyes, or I guess maybe third eye up?
Made in awareness, it was a total of 5 icons.
All right.
Nice.
Not bad at all. So, as you begin to travel, moving through the low ridges, plodding over the ground, it is a quiet night for the grand scheme of things at first. Your travel proceeds mostly quiet. I'm assuming, given the nature, you all aren't talking about too much. As you sit quietly, listening to the hum of the engine of the Goliath, the rough tread of tires as the wind passes you all by, you almost find yourselves for the first time since having watched a politician die violently, in relative peace. As you proceed quietly, letting the air around you pass, thinking on the things you've encountered, some of you wrestling with personal issues, the first thing that disrupts the quiet is motion. High up on the ridge to your right, Lara, you see something rush by. A shadow in this low light, hard to see, even with your perceptive eyes. It is fast, though, decently. Fast and fluid in the way it moves. One goes by, and then two, and then a third. The fourth Barris you see. The fifth, you don't see, you feel. Something rushes up against the side of the Goliath. Not hard enough to knock you over or damage it seriously, but hard enough that you feel it shudder left or right and then left again as it moves and skitters by. The shape that passes by the front of the cabin through the front lights just barely is carapace and insectoid. It has at least 6 large legs with claw-like fingers at the end of it. It quickly trudges and skitters by, almost digging up the ground as it moves. Its large back made of segmented plates that at first you think just are jagged and malformed, but you then realize is actually still containing dirt and rocks and sediment all around it, as it has recently pulled itself up from the ground and skittered by you. It's then you recognize you are surrounded by these things. Not in a sense that they are hounding you, but a herd of them, a gathering of these arthropod figures, these arthropod creatures, which are usually called dune runners. You know that, Barris, and probably Lara as well. A herd of them is skittering by you all.
I was so worried.
Oh, I know.
How much would bears know about Doom Runners beyond what they're called?
Do I want to make this a check? Yeah, let's make this a check. Why don't you give me some kind of like knowledge? You know, it could be like a local hearsay sort of related check. I don't know, something informational or knowledgeable. Gotta pull up the skill list, honestly. Give me a moment.
Yeah, again, there's not a ton of like
Excuse me.
like savvy-based skill checks.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't worry about it
Like-
too much.
There's insight, I guess.
Insight actually sounds like a insight or you know what? I'll take investigation. But go ahead and go ahead and take an investigation, but roll with 2 bonus dice, as this is something you might know about, given that you're from around here.
I hope I don't fuck this up with that.
Here's hoping.
I fucked it up.
Uh-oh. What you got for me?
I got 2 icons
Okay. With 2 icons, you know a couple
and
of
a 1 on
things.
the rat dive.
Oh no.
That's not great. But, here's how this works. You know a few things. 1, dune runners are herd creatures. They are herd arthropods that gather up in large groups and shuffle across the dunes in massive groups to avoid some of the even larger creatures that roam the wastes.
Hang on. It didn't count the 2 bonus dice for some reason.
Oh, go ahead and have those. Sorry.
Like it didn't roll them. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
just,
go ahead and have those.
Well,
No,
how lot of good that did.
That's fine. So, then what you know is this. These herd creatures tend to move in large gatherings. They are... You don't know a whole lot about them, but you can tell a few things by just looking at the ones in front of them. They are large, probably about maybe the size of a person if they could stand upright, but you don't know if they can do that. They have a fair bit of bulk to them. They are heavy creatures that they kind of plod in front of you. They move decently fast, given the way they skitter about the ground. You can see there are about maybe 10 or 12 surrounding you and moving past the Goliath. What you do know from tales you've heard from travelers, as you maybe haven't moved to these caverns too often or encountered them, but you've heard from of these things for dune runners, they're blind. They feel by sensors on their carapace and by tremors in the ground. Meaning, if something disturbs them, shifts them too hard, or pushes them too hard, they see it as a threat.
But for right now, they're just passing over us.
They're passing by you. What that means, and I'd say if you want Zad and Aria, one of you can even open the back of the truck and get a look if you want. What it's looking like is this herd is moving past you all. Now, again, these things are, you see, feel by tremors, some of them are kind of parting around the truck. But unless you are very careful with your driving and or someone else offers to help, try to, give you directions on how to move in certain ways, if you bump one of these things too hard, problems might ensue.
Right.
This is where I open it up to the party. If anyone had a check they want to roll or a thing they want to offer, a skill they can use to help our friend Barris and the rest of you navigate this group and gathering of skitterers to get past and not, cause an incident, as it were. Now would be the time to offer that check.
How large is the herd? I guess first of all.
There are about 10 or 12 or so directly around the Goliath. Given that you can now, like Laura, as you're looking around, there's probably a fair bit more than just that 12 on the rocks and skittering around. If these things herd, they herd big.
Because I was thinking, could we just wait for them to pass us?
You could theoretically try and stop right
Or
where
would
you
that
are,
take
and
too
if you are,
long?
you could slow to a stop and hope none of them bump into you. Like if you slowly come to a stop and none of them bump into you hard enough to set them off, you could be fine. It's just wait for the herd to pass by. Would cut some time off of your travel, definitely, but option.
Well, I'll open it up to anyone who would like to assist. Otherwise, that might be the plan I go with.
So, these are creatures that attack aggressively to anything posing a threat.
Bears?
Oh, shit! Sorry. I thought he was asking you.
No, I don't normally talk like this.
Oh, news to me. Yeah, and they attack in response to threats, and anything that makes a big enough tremor is something they'll see as a threat. But they're they're otherwise blind. So if we stop the truck and hold still, we can just wait for them to pass us by. Otherwise, I may need one of you to direct me to avoid, so as to avoid disturbing any of them.
Open the back of the truck. Do not extend the gangway.
Okay, Barris pushes the open the back of the truck button.
Boy comes out, bolts are blazing.
No. I do have a frag grenade though, and I'm gonna throw that back down the trail nearby, and in such a way to try and get it to like dig into the earth, like less lob and more baseball pitch it.
Okay.
Given
So,
it's a mere frag grenade. I can hold it in the palm of my hand very easily.
So, Aria, from the back, you watch as Zadkiel pulls from his pack a frag grenade and looks like he's looking to cook it. Zad, before you throw, are you looking for distance or accuracy here?
I'm
don't like
not
the sound of
looking
that.
for too much distance. I think of the two options I'd rather Kobe than Yeet.
If you're going for Kobe here, then I'm going to need a ballistic skill roll.
Sure thing. Unless, of course, anyone wants to jump in here. I do.
Yeah, Aria, you're watching as Zadkiel pulls a grenade from the back from his pack.
I mean, Aria's not gonna argue with her lord over here.
You're more than welcome to be like, hold on. Wait a minute.
My lord, what the fuck are you doing?
Pardon my intrusion, my lord, but what the actual fuck?
Yes.
My lord, what are you thinking?
Aria's just going to. I think she's going to
Oh,
pause
there's a simple answer. I
in the
must-
big, like, what the fuck moment and just, it's like, my lord, should we warn Boris first before you throw anything?
I have already informed him to open up the rear of the truck. He must assume I have a plan. Truly, the trust we have between us is great.
I am certain, but it would help if he is at. I think Arya's gonna like press whatever comms button is, and just go and just say,
It's just Space Marine's acting crazy, but
It's like
Have a grenade.
We have a button for that.
it's like she's not even gonna argue against like the whole throwing thing. It's just, Boris, I'm sure you would like to be informed, but Zadkiel, my lord, is about to throw a frag grenade out the back of the truck.
Well, a distraction might work. Just make sure he doesn't hit any of them.
My lord,
repetition of information does not serve anyone. And I
You realize that in him throwing this means that they will be running past us and likely hitting us.
I wasn't gonna say anything, honestly. I was gonna let y'all do it. Cody's got a point.
Here you go. I have a brain cell. You're welcome.
Cody's got a point.
look, we have like 3 brain cells, and like they're all basically shared between.
So they're just surrounding the truck at this point.
They're the overall group is slowly moving past the truck, like slowly but surely. It would take a while for them all to get past you because again they're pretty big things and they're not moving super fast. But yeah, mostly like Aria said, like Laura said, if the grenade trick works, you're gonna have to deal with at least a few of them running back in your direction. So you're gonna have to, do some swerving to avoid that, which the thing.
See, I thought he was gonna throw it like off to the side of the road, or whatever the equivalent of the road is here.
Any direction is a
Point to
bad
that.
direction.
It's gonna happen regardless. You can definitely try to aim for a direction where it'll be less bad, and that'll just slightly increase the skill roll difficulty incoming. But yeah, I'd say let's just roll it and let's see how it plays out. Assuming you're all cool with that plan, unless anybody's like, hey, maybe we don't.
I mean, I could also like
I've
slow
already said
down
it.
to a stop first, and then he can throw it, and then when they all start rushing towards the grenade, then I start moving. Or will they rush it at the same speed that they're currently moving?
For the record, Lara said I said that in character, and I said,
Mhm.
"Hey."
Well, my lord, the witch does have a point. And I think
Is that
Aria.
heresy?
Not that he heard it.
It's like as much as I hate to admit it.
Then what do you suggest? We cannot be delayed. Are you suggesting this vehicle does not have the durability to withstand a few blows of these creatures' bodies?
It's not a few of them I'm worried about.
Are you incapable
But-
of driving around them?
Not when they're swarming through the road. This is a truck. It's not built for threading needles.
Need not thread needles with a truck. That would be improper equipment.
Exactly. That is what I am saying.
But navigating through a horde of large creatures should be sufficient for one as talented as you.
Not by myself, not in these conditions. I'll need help.
And that's just what I intended to provide. A distraction.
More... Look, Zad, my concern is we hit one of them and then they all start swarming us. If your distraction goes through, there's still a good chance of that happening. Unless we stop moving, but now, if you'd like to help me navigate, I'd be more than grateful, but I think the rest of them I think the rest of our squad has voiced their concerns about this plan.
I will attempt to find a way through this gathering. And he's gonna, like, pull himself up on top of the truck.
You all feel the truck lurch downwards a bit and then kind of slowly align back up. As that, you're now on top of the Goliath.
I think
Or
Aria's
we'll
going to
also-
act. Is the door open? Like the back door open?
The back door is still open. Yep.
Yeah, Aria is just going to flat on just put on her her powered armor, pull out her naginata and stand at the entrance.
In case this
Are
goes
you on
poorly.
repulsion duty?
Lara,
Well,
what's your
if
plan
you-
right now?
I will also help you navigate.
I appreciate that.
All right then. So
I don't suppose you can
that's
influence them to get out of our path, can you?
I heard nothing.
Well, they are weaker-minded. I could make the attempt. Jar their senses a
Willing to
bit.
try anything at this point.
All we need is to have faith in the Emperor and in Varys' driving skills.
Well, one of those things is warranted. Actually, I'm not even sure of that much, but that's out of character.
well then, friends. In that case, I need the following check from the following three people. From Barris. First off, to confirm, is Zadkiel still throwing the grenade?
No. Disappointingly, I don't think that's the plan.
All right.
Like, my lord,
Okay,
just you should save the frag grenade for when we are against worthy
Save it
opponents.
for the heretics.
In that case, I need a piloting roll from Barris. I need awareness rolls from both Zadkiel and Aria, and a psychic mastery roll from Lara.
Oh dear.
To possibly flavor this a little bit, I have a question about dune runners.
Go.
Are they the type of herding animal that once there's a lead in front of them, they will follow it?
Oh no.
It's a sort of it's not so much a lead, more as like a crowd thing where once one will follow one other, and then once a couple are following, more will kind of gather, and then they're kind of all following the grouping together. There really isn't a leader so much as like if enough of them start doing something, they'll all just keep doing it.
Okay. That was kind of what my thought process was. Maybe kind of pop into that weak, I'm assuming weak, and gauge them to maybe veer. But that roll was a 4 with a 6 on the wrath die.
Okay.
All right. Finally, some good news.
Better
So
than
let's start with
Oh, shit. I got
Oh.
a lot of it. A lot of them, by the looks of it.
what you
you
got.
got
Oh my god!
3
Okay,
crits,
so,
4 crits.
Oh, Lord.
2 icons. 2 regular icons. 3 critical icons.
and then
And
one on-
because I can't have too many good things happen to me, I got a 1 on the wrath die again.
I mean,
I
you
did
did better
see
than
that.
me. I got 0 on awareness, but I got a crit on the wrath die.
So
Okay.
that's like 8 icons.
Yep. Zad, what do you got?
I rolled 6, and I have 2 icons.
All right. So, it's like a 2, a 5, and then, sorry, Meg, what'd you get again? There's a 4 and a rat turtle, so 6 total.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so 2, 2, 6, and 8-ish. Wow, not bad, guys, at all. So, it begins. Zamkiel, you maglock your boots to the top of the to the top of the Goliath and push yourself up to get an upright stand, turning on your night vision to get a sort of in your infrared to get a sense of these creatures around you, and slowly through your comms, through your Vox, you begin to slowly guide Barris through, left, right, slowly left, a bit more left, just slowly. Aria, you are just watching the back, seeing if any of the creatures as they come towards you are getting too close to like jumping up to them. One does start kind of getting too close to like nudging the like the back of the Goliath. You have your Naginata and it's kind of like scoop at its like facial plate area where its the sensors are, light enough that it just, rather than getting angry, just slightly just and with the skitters off to one side of you, slowly breathing out. Barris, you are slow driving and just keeping an eye on things, moving, following the directions, and you watch as Lara, with your eyes closed, you happen, and you find this thing works almost like a node. While it's difficult to process minds that aren't like yours, even human minds can be a bit weird. These things, wholly alien, are simplistic enough that you can move through them. And much like being bit by a cat, once you tap into one, the rest of their minds seem to lap at that connection, spreading it like a network so you can gather a small cluster of them under your influence. And you give a slight nudge to their perception. So effectively, you get them to treat the Goliath like a big rock. And the ones that are closest to you all, just slowly part around the Goliath and begin to move away. It is as you're doing this, just then, Zabkiel, you notice that as the herd parts, you start getting to see less of them on your thermal vision. And it's not because they're getting out of your range. It's because they're all inclining down and climbing vertically down the slope of a very, very sharp turn you all just now noticed. Barris, you have to throw the wheel as hard as you can to the right to make this turn. You all feel the truck lurch. Aria, you are speeding in that power armor, having to slam your arm against the wall to keep yourself stable. Zabkiel, thankfully, you're maglock, but even in your power armor with the compensators, you can feel your body lurch just a little bit as you get thrown slightly toward your left. Lara, thankfully, you're in the front, and I hope you wear your seatbelt because safety is important, so you aren't thrown too hard. But each of you feels the truck skid, and you can almost feel that, as you're looking in the back left of the double tire almost go over the side and eat air. It sort of tears up. Thankfully, Barris, you give it enough gas and have just enough traction to slowly pull it back up, and you all feel a thump as the Goliath trunk realigns itself on the rough path of the ridge you're on, and you're all able to drive relatively normally, heart attack avoided, and all of you mostly intact.
Shit. Sorry. Is everyone okay?
I imagine like Arya probably just. I'm fine, my lord.
I remain affixed to the vehicle.
I imagine there's like a dent, like a sizable dent in the size of like the truck where
Oh
like
yeah,
Arya.
no question.
Just like,
This it looks like a person got embedded in there, or really more like a hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine as well.
good.
No one asked.
Wow, rude.
I'm not. I can't actually respond to that.
It is.
Yeah, you. How would you know? How would you know this is fine? Can't hear.
So,
He
as
doesn't
you are finally moving back down the road and making yourself comfortable on the ridgeline in the truck, you recognize that the light is getting very, very low. The dune runners have all moved past you, or the herd has moved past you. You're now skirting around the outskirts of it and making your way back into open ground. But it's getting late. You could keep driving. Barris, you might either want to tag off or maybe just pop a stim or some calf or something if you want to keep yourself moving. Otherwise, y'all might want to consider a driver change or stopping for the night.
Anybody else want to drive?
I believe this
Need the
vehicle
re-
is ill-suited to my size.
If you need the reprieve, I am fine with driving.
Alright. I'm at my limit here. And I don't want to force myself on this kind of terrain. I've already had a near miss once.
Push yourself if you are strained.
I think I might do that. How do we just like... I'm assuming we pull over to switch seats and don't like try to climb over each other
Yeah.
while we drive.
Someone's gotta be on someone's lap for a half second. I'm like, that's the call, friends.
It's more the whole doing it while we're driving through rugged mountain terrain that
Fair enough. All right. Well, the Goliath truck pulls to a stop to allow a quick switchover of the driver. Barris, you settle in to at least get some rest, and
fire
you
drill.
let Lara know the general path you know to follow to get out of this mountain ridge. You know that once you get out of this mountain ridge, you will find yourself situated at mines, not just outside of Mine Sink B Tertius, which is probably one of the last major stops you can make on your way to C Primus, unless you are not going to cut to the second mountain range. So if you're going to stop somewhere in fuel, it could be there, or at one of the other random smaller stations, or smaller halves, or smaller stations that are nearby. Maybe you can find a trader and trade for some fuel from a caravan if you're lucky, if you want to keep moving. That's ultimately up to you all. However, as you trade over the drive and begin to let yourself move, we will allow the Goliath truck to peel off.
By the way, is Zadkiel still on the roof?
I'll work my way back in if we stop.
Yeah. We'll let, as Zad climbs back in, we'll let the Goliath truck bulk pass by and reveal a slowly moon overlit evening as the ridge line falls in silence again after a brief heart attack. And we allow our cast a momentary reprieve. We will be right back in just a few moments, so please don't touch that dial or that browser. Please feel free to refuel and defuel, say your prayers, offer your litanies to the God Emperor, or whatever powers you choose to worship. And we'll be back with you all in just a few moments. Goodbye, friends. Mwah.
It's gonna show up in subtitles, isn't it?
And we return to this evening's episode of By His Shadow Peace. Unfortunately, rather anachronistically, to not an evening. As the theme we return to is in fact a high morning, perhaps even an early afternoon. The journey through the rest of the ridges was fraught with lots of sharp turns, perilous near misses, and several precarious steps. Lara, human vehicles are frighteningly simplistic, annoyingly, irritatingly simplistic to operate. It's finicky for you. It takes definitely more patience and not a lot, but more time than it would have taken to have Barris drive straight there. But unfortunately, humans also need to sleep. So, you were the best option we had available. And thus, you make the trek through the ridges relatively soft. By the time you make it out of the ridgeline, cresting up over a high ravine toward the nice flat plateau to put the mountains behind you, it is morning. The red hot and orange white sun of Peta 2 slowly cresting up over it, making itself known as Peta's light spread all over this high brown plain. Just ahead of you, large enough to see even in this distance now, is a massive complex. A large, square, bulky section dug into a deep entrenched circle, which has been hollowed out by a massive excavation complex in its middle. This area, you don't plan it long enough to know it, is registered officially Mine Sink B Tertius. It will still probably be about, it's still about another, excuse me, it is still about another hour or two, maybe 3 of travel. Maybe even a full half the day's travel before you arrive there. And good timing too, as by the time you get there, the Goliath truck's fuel tank is sputtering. But, narrowly, with Barris's eyes on the fuel gauge the entire time for the last hour or so, you make your way into the refueling platform attached to the massive mining area. It is a metropolitan area. Huge, massive mining barks on huge treads, bigger than even the truck itself, just the treads themselves. Small civilian craft, speeder bikes, everything of various shapes and sizes makes its way towards this area here to be refueled. Some to then make their way inside the docking platforms in the mine sinks, others to keep moving on their own journeys. Whether you all will do that is up to you all. However, you have a moment here to spend some time refueling the Goliath and, well, perhaps refueling and discussing amongst yourselves. What you discuss is up to you. Where you discuss it is similarly up to you. I leave things back in your hands, friends. Where are we going? What's happening? What are we doing?
I mean, Barris is probably going to be overseeing the refueling of the Goliath.
Fair
So
enough.
I'll probably be staying by the truck.
You have to sort of slide back a large panel that slides back into back and down into a compartment behind the main hood area, and then you have to take the fuel pump and stick it down vertically into the engine block to fuel to pump Promethean fuel into it. Thankfully, Mine Sink B Tertius naturally produces Promethean fuel by virtue of having tapped the vein about a century ago that they're still working through. So this place is at least having decently low Promethean fuel prices right now. So I won't make any of you roll influence to get your fuel price to get fueled up.
I think Lara would be kind of curious to walk through the crowds and listen, eavesdrop on conversation, see if there's any gossip rolling around.
As you're moving through our, actually, let's find what you're doing, and I'll move through you all one at a time. So Laura's heading out to check in, do some gossip running. Dad, Aria?
I'm going to go look at potentially purchasing ammunition.
Aria?
I think Aria is going to walk with Zadkiel, but is going to actually actively look for people who are in the crowd who need medical assistance. She's got her how the hell do you pronounce that? Karujin's tool?
Eurasian, yes.
Karujin's tools in a bag, and is and maybe also to resupply her tools at the same time, but you know, charity is always.
So then, I like this actually. So, Varys, as you're sitting around by the fueling station, just keeping your pump going, keeping your hand near your pistol, maybe because even though it's one of the more civilized parts of K2, no place on K2 is ever fully civilized unless there's an arbitrage around. So, you're keeping yourself on guard, watching the fuel pump as the Goliath slowly fills and the price slowly racks up as you refuel the tank. Are you going for a full tank here, or are you trying to just maybe go for half or something like that?
Probably a full tank, just so we can minimize the number of stops we have to make in the future.
Bet. It's as you are watching the fuel gauge slowly pick up, it's going to take me a good 20-30 minutes to fully refuel the Goliath, so you have some time to sit here and get comfortable. But you're sweeping your eyes around, looking or seeing what's around you. The fuel station is definitely busy. And as you can see, that while there aren't any arbitrages right around you, around the fueling ring directly, the air is definitely a little tense. You're getting the sense that word of the bombing around C Primus, at least given that it isn't too far from it, has probably spread to here. or maybe even what's not too far from here. And thus, people are a little on edge. But other than that, no one seems to bother you as you slowly keep a tab on what's going on. Lara, you're walking through the crowd, listening for gossip, getting information on what you can. And similarly, a lot of people are bickering and bantering about the bombing, talking about what's happening, seeing if people are giving their crackpot theories on it, whether it's insurrectionists or terrorists. Some are even saying it might have been an inside job to build tension and make C Primus look bad to oust Nurse All. People have been giving a lot of different theories. A few people, very, very few, but a few people seem to maybe have been traveling this way or gotten info from around, if you forgive me, from around B Secundus. And you know that because some of them are even talking about the assassination. We found a month out of the way, but y'all spent maybe 2 or 3 days traveling through the ridge in total. And this time, by then, yeah, word's probably spread to around here. Some people are wondering if the two were connected, if the bombing and the assassination maybe had to do with each other. No one's detecting dots or anything like that, but that's definitely been gossip going around. Dad, you have to head into the actual mine sink to go find a commercial district somewhere to go buy some ammunition. Extra rounds are going to be hard to come by. I'm going to need you to make an influence roll for that one. But we can see if anything else happens while you roll this. So give me a roll on that, and we'll figure that out.
Sure thing.
And lastly, Aria, you are moving through the crowd, similarly moving with Zad to go and look through and find some place to refuel your storage and supplies. Thankfully, some of the basic components you need, some of the base chemicals and metal workings you might need to get your hands on things, you can probably find. I will also need an influence test from you, definitely, to get a sense of what you can acquire. But, Zad, you are recognizing that while you could probably maybe get someone to look at your bolter to make sure it's at least, still firing properly, you're certain none of these regular people, none of these backwater Imperial menials are going to know anything about how to properly keep a bolter up and running. Ammunition for it might be hard to come by. Thankfully, the supply chest you store your armor in when you're not wearing it has a few extra racks and clips, and it hasn't run dry just yet. You can probably get a few extra clips and things from there before you need to contact the Inquisitor, possibly, or maybe go a bit black market if you want to actually find some bolter rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where you're at right now. However, while you two are out shopping, you just are coming across some interesting things. In certain places in the mine sink, on certain walls or scrawled across certain overhangs or bridges, you see a symbol. It's a wide circle that's kind of incomplete. It stops just shy of two kind of lines that angled figures geometrically that go inside. The circle is a black shape. The eyes are drawn with concentric inward patterns of different flavors of purple, as if to give the indication that they're a light. They look kind of like a leering pair of eyes, almost. This symbol, which is clearly scrawled on and not officially drawn on by any actual STC pattern or anything like that, appears in a few places around here.
What would I need to roll to potentially recognize this kind of pattern? Or try and gauge the symbology of this?
I would say probably an investigation or an insight. Insight's probably more of a trying to connect to baseline humans and understand what they're dealing with, what they do here. As Aria, with you got a 1 and a wrap critical, it looks like, yes?
Yep.
So, Aria, you actually get
both
lucky.
of them were crits, actually, so I guess that's 2.
Yes, you get lucky here, actually. You managed to come across a small cargo lifter hoisting medical supplies off to a nearby clinic. You're able to sort of, and they seem like they might be suffering and clearly working on a field repair for one of the cargo lifters, like travel legs. So you managed to catch them while you're walking over, and you ask them if they happen to have any medical supplies, and they effectively after some time offer as they can see you. I'm assuming you're not in your armor anymore, but you're still in your habit.
Mm-hmm.
And recognizing your symbol of Sororitas office, they immediately offer to anything that they can offer you. They'd offer to trade parts with, and you're able to find some good resupply for your Terurgen. So you're able to easily find resupply for your medical equipment, making you fully back back and topped up. Additionally, it is as they're parting, one of them just says, "A word, madam. If you plan to travel within the Mind Sink Moor, do be aware of the gangers."
Gangers. I appreciate the word of warning, but is there any trouble? Do you need any assistance?
Not in a way that feels overt. However, well, I'm sure you've heard about the bombing and the assassination, and well, down here on the southern part of the continent, southern part of the planet, the gangs are far more active. You've likely heard of the cartel that operates out of C Primus, but there are, and she kind of looks around, other entities that operate. And while they may not be as large or as powerful, they are still dangerous. Travel with good company, madam. Please.
The warning's appreciated. And I think Aria will offer like a bit of a benediction before heading back to Zadkiel.
They nod happily, and you regroup with the two.
My lord, it
Anybody else
seems.
got anything they want to do right now? Sorry, go, please.
Oh, just, yeah, passing on the word.
I mean, I guess since I'm like just hanging around the truck, I might try and like see if I can gather any like information or any gossip about the bombings or the events at C Primus under the guise of just like making conversation. Because I imagine that news must have carried.
You end up finding ultimately that I don't. Sorry, I just I'm gonna handle something. So, as you look around for gossip, people who are other people who are refueling, truckers, haulers, miners, cargo lifters, people stuff like that, offer you information. So most people who gossip just say things that they are aware of the bombing. It actually, in fact, wasn't too far from here. It was in between B Quatris and C Primus at a minor refining station in between those two. A lot of people offer theories on what happened. Again, similarly to what Laura's getting from the gossip that she's taking in. Some people wonder if it connects to the assassination. People have lots of crackpot theories on maybe if it was done to oust or solve or make her look bad. But a few people who can definitely tell that you're a local because of the way you talk and the way you act around them start sort of pretty blatantly saying like, well, it wasn't too far from here. You think it might have been Gronza and them? And you hear that maybe once or twice. Someone mentions Gronza's gang.
Man, not those fucks again.
And that's mostly all you really get. How much you know about Gronza's gang, I'll tell you in just a moment. But you are aware. You definitely have heard of that name before. They are mostly.
Gronza's not the one who won in my head and sent those people after us, right? Okay.
That's Sils. No, they're with CP. They're with CP12. Yes, Gronza's gang is a different gang who you've heard about in your time traveling around planet. You know they operate around this mind sink, more than others. They are very like low key, where the CP12 is outright and brutal and not afraid to straight up, claim territory, even in the face of the Arbitrates as theirs. Gronza's gang is known to be a lot more subtle with their motions. They still absolutely have territory that is their domain, and they absolutely engage in all kinds of illicit activity, and definitely engage in gang wars, but they don't go around waving their flag randomly to people.
Right.
So then, does the group want to regroup?
Are you alright?
Disappointing. That is all.
What?
Seems.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I did forget to talk about Zadkiel's result to your culture check. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the...
So, while you didn't get any successes there, unfortunately, what you gather as you are noticing, and again, you're not familiar with human culture a lot, Zadkiel, but you fought plenty of Xenos across a variety of worlds, dealt with traitors, cultists, insurrectionists, and all sorts of other manner of things. You don't know what the hell this marking really means too much, but from the places you see it, you can tell that one, it doesn't really appear like people who put this mark around want it to be seen easily and regularly, but if someone is looking around, they definitely would see it. Two, you know what a territorial marking looks like. You don't know whose territory or how big the territory is. It's a territorial marking.
It seems no location on this planet is safe.
I was just warned that there may be some gangers causing trouble.
There are always gangers causing trouble. Well, the bombings in C Primus likely derive much attention of the Arbites away from these smaller fish.
Apparently they're quite more active these days.
Something we can hopefully nip in the bud. Come, sister. We must return to our vehicle. Our time here would be ill spent gossiping.
So, two of you move to regroup with Barris. Lara, anything you're looking to pick up from the gossip you're getting, or you're just like looking for what you can hear and then heading back?
I was looking more for information about activity surrounding the bombings and if it's possibly stretched this far.
Okay, so then what you get is the following things, and I'll say this is probably going to be testless here. Yeah, I think you can get a test if you're just kind of like looking for. Are you talking to people actively, or is it more just like listening for gossip?
Listening.
Okay, in that case, no.
I can't talk. I don't talk to people.
That's true. You don't. It's true. Right. I forgot. That's, you know what? Valid.
If someone
forgot.
seems
My bad.
particularly juicy for information, I'll poke around in their head. But
Okay. In which case, you get a couple of connective threads. One, again, there are people who are wondering if the bomb is connected to this assassination. Two, BP-12 has not claimed responsibility for the bombing, and normally it's the kind of thing that they would do. Three, you get that everyone's becoming a lot more concerned and you would know this isn't the only bombing that's happened. Beta 2, again, isn't the most organized planet, so anti-government attacks aren't horridly uncommon. But recently, there has been at least, not recently, but this bombing in particular is seeming like people are starting to finally get a little bit more on edge. As for how word of it has spread, well, or whether any activity related to it has spread, you aren't hearing much regarding that. It seems like whoever did the bombing did it and just fucked off. People have been talking about Arbites crackdowns and more checkpoints and more active searches of vehicles, though. So it seems like the Arbites around both C Primus and the other nearby major halves are absolutely trying to get into it.
Yeah. Cool deal. Then, once I feel like I've kind of hit a block in the road where there's not really more information coming through, I'll head back.
True. All right, then. As the party groups and assembles, sitting and barely noticing the hustle and bustle around them, you reassemble in front of the Goliath truck and are prepared to regroup and rediscuss your plans. Of note, you are still outside of the Goliath truck currently, and so your conversations are public. If you wanted more privacy, you could easily, again, all hop in the back of the Goliath truck and just hang out back there and talk. Or head into the mine sink and find somewhere to discuss things. Really, your call.
Are we refueled and prepared to leave?
Should be just about ready.
This location is regrettably quite short on its ammunition stores. At the very least for higher ordnance.
Well, we don't get a lot of those around these parts.
Something the Manufactorum could look into remedying, I'm certain. Unfortunately, I fear...
Maybe after the investigation's wrapped up.
Though I suppose the full strike of a bolter round would decimate most of these troops' shoulders. Still.
And now you can see why we don't have many of them around these parts.
It's still distressing. It means I will apply the Emperor's justice from afar judiciously.
Hey, you and your guns.
My tools. But we'll linger too long on semantics. We are prepared to go. There is gang
We are.
activity. If there is gang or activity in the area here as well.
So I've heard. But before we get moving, I'd just like to point out, and he turns to look at, he glances at Lara, we aren't on the road anymore.
That is an accurate statement, though oddly placed.
Zedkiel doesn't have the insight though.
He doesn't know.
Zedkiel
Does he
still
know?
does not know.
Does he know?
Doesn't.
Doesn't even know basic math.
So, I mean, do I just gotta... I have a guess. Do you want me to just come out and say it?
By all means, I'd love to hear your theories.
Well, then, I'll get right to the point. Tasso eshimirentem.
The out of character, I don't know what you just asked me.
I said, who are you in El...
Yeah.
Idil Valet Delone.
Okay, now, out of character, I don't know what you just said.
It's her
That would
name.
have been a name. Mm-hmm.
So, I gotta ask. Well, first of all, thank you for being
Wait,
honest with me.
I have one question. Was this said over Skype call?
I probably would have said it over Skype. Zad would react.
Because I don't know if Aria is still on the...
You're still in the circle of trust here.
Arya hasn't said otherwise and hasn't lashed out, so
So, what brings you to our merry band?
as it was originally stated, Inquisitor Brimrose brought me on for this investigation.
Okay. Well, that's enough truth to satisfy me for the moment. I thank you for your honesty.
God, Emperor, help me.
If the Inquisitor trusts you, I'll go along with what he says.
Now the question becomes, how do we inform Zadkiel?
You're all being very quiet. I must assume you're communicating with the witch.
Aria is going to pull out her bolter, or her las pistol.
Aria?
There is no fear. She is just watching.
We
He's
have
the
our
only one.
orders.
I think her finger twitches a little bit around the trigger.
I understand your fear and resentment. And once this is over, you'll likely never see me again. But for now, you cannot deny that I have been an asset.
Working with a witch is one thing.
Am I any more dangerous than the voice in your head?
What are you talking about?
You are equally as dangerous.
Now I know why you fear that too.
Captain, I must protest this.
On what grounds?
This is heretical.
I suppose it is. But if the Inquisitor trusts her,
Inquisitor Brimrose did me a great service once. So just this once, I will accept this order. But I will state that it is under great protest.
your protest is noted, Aria.
Now again, I ask the question, how do we inform Zadkiel? Because my method is likely more cause for confrontation.
What did you have in mind?
I can force his mind into this whenever I please.
Yeah, let's not do that. Doesn't seem like a great way to build trust.
Which is why I'm looking for other options.
Well, whatever we do, we might need to make sure he's sitting down.
Aria's going to holster her las pistol. Well, I suppose at the end of this, I will burn either way.
You want to tell him?
I just need to know when these things are being spoken out loud.
Oh, Aria's just talking. Aria's
This is all
talking
out.
out loud. She's not. She refuses to use psych or anything besides listening to Lara out of courtesy of Lara being literally being unable to talk.
I mean, Barris is probably still in the Skype call, mostly.
The God Emperor has not smote me yet.
I'm not such a fool I cannot use the facilities granted to me by his emperor. Whatever you're discussing, it likely concerns the witch in her true nature. I have been reminded by our inquisitorial lord to accept the help that he has provided us, lest I face the fate of my brothers. Whatever is the true nature of this thing, I need not know. Ignorance is a shield that I am willing to wield for myself.
If that's your wish, then I'll respect it.
Perhaps that is the best course for us. Only one of us need burn in the light of the God Emperor.
Ignorance is a virtue. And our best defense. Let us be on with it. If the truth of the matter does come to me, and I find it too much to bear, I assure you, it'll be over quickly. That is the mercy I offer you, for your service.
Then, depending on your actions, you may have the Inquisitor to answer to. Just bear that in mind.
I do not answer to the Inquisitor. For now, perhaps. But my soul only answers to the Emperor.
Well, alright then. Shall we be off?
Before you do that, because that scene was so great, go ahead and up the glory pool by 1, please, friends. Because I believe you all absolutely earned that.
Yay!
Where is that on?
Secondly, I'm pretty sure it's tracked as a group thing. I don't know if it's actually somewhere on the sheet, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Don't worry about it. Just know that you were adding one to the glory pool. Someone make note of that. Secondly, I'm going to present you all with a couple of options and make this very plain. Both in front of the curtain and behind the curtain, your options are the following. If you want to investigate what's happening with the ganger activity in B. Tertius, you can head back inside, see what's up with it. Not a problem. If you would rather keep moving on the road to CP Primus, you can do that. In which case, you have 2 further options. We can just montage our way right there to CP Primus and get y'all to the outside of it and let y'all just fully explore it in our, in what's happening. Or, and y'all have at least one contact y'all want to make in CP Primus, if I remember correctly, on level 10. And if y'all want to see the results of that real badly, we can get right to that.
Sorry, what was the first option again?
Go
Your
beat
first
up
option
some
is going
gangs.
back, yeah, go see what's going on with the gangs around here.
And these are the gangs we think might be tied to the explode.
there are people who think that might be the case.
Right.
Although it doesn't
They're just-
seem their MO. Oh, sorry.
Well, as
It's
long
just
as
these
they're
guys
not...
have been more active.
You're right, right. I mean, I'm down to do that because it seems like it might be beneficial to.
Perhaps we spend no
No.
more than a few days? If it took the long way around, it would have taken 4 weeks anyways.
I guess you're right.
So then, if the call is to head back into town, and to head back into the mine sink, and do some investigating as far as finding yourselves, well, some gangs, well, I'll make that pretty straightforward as far as you go. You step yourselves through into mine sink B Tertius. Its streets are busy. It's maybe in the sprawl that you saw B Secundus in, or even A Primus when you were there. A Secundus when you were there. But mine workers, shopkeepers, individuals living their lives, the streets hum with the throng of humanity as you move through them. No one seems to offer too much of a gaze on you, more than you can tell than a passing glance. As you step around, you all again begin to become keenly aware of that same symbol. And Barris, now that you're seeing it, you know that symbol, that black circle with the purple eyes inverted in it. That symbol is Chronic the Gang symbol. And if someone who's operated in the less savory lights on K-2, you're pretty easily aware of how to get at least aware of where the territory is. Laura, you've been to B Tertius before in your decade or so and a half you've been on this planet. And so, if you were willing to give me, Barris, perhaps some kind of like insight or investigation role, and Laura, I don't think history is a skill in this game, so probably also insight for you or something else related to that. If you can recall your memory on where you might think certain groups of gangs waiting at, or might be hanging around at, we'll see if we can't get you along going there.
Did you say insight or investigation?
Either one, yes.
That's something. Oh god.
Wow.
How many freaking dice do you have? Jesus.
Oh, sure. Now the fucking balls.
I'm feeling very understated over here.
Knock those last 2 dice off because that was what I forgot to take away the 2 bonus dice from the last investigation roll.
No!
A lot of crits. All right, cool. So yeah, if we knock off the last 2 dice, then that does knock off.
That
one
knocks
of
off
the
3
great
icons, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I rolled 1 icon.
6, because Wrath Die also worked.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled
Laura.
1 icon. I'm really helping here.
Oof. No rat die fuckery?
Nope.
Cool, good.
No
All right.
fuckery, but I did get an icon.
A nice
so 6
cool
icons.
3.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, as you are moving through, Laura, B Tertius has changed a fair bit since the last time you were here. You wager that this has been the result of some shifts in the political climate and in the ownership. In fact, you're pretty certain that maybe a different hive governor is having administration over this area, resulting in a shift in the trade patterns and what people have shops open and things like that. As such, you find yourselves not so much lost as having to navigate by virtue of rough proximity. Following the graffiti markings on the wall and the places that people seem to not want to congregate in, you're able to sort of make your way down into the lower depths of the mine sink. Around level 6 or so, you start to notice that less people are around here and more of those symbols pop up. In fact, especially as you're traveling on the large stair lifts between levels. And it's as you're moving between level 6 and 7 that you see suddenly a couple of things. Varus, you, with your incredible awareness roll, suddenly noticed that between layers 7 and 8, there appears to be a place in the superstructure where the scaffolding wasn't built properly and has either because of some industrial fire or an accident melted down to sort of open up what looks like a passage. And just on the top of that beam that's been melted, you can see scrawled that same symbol. You get a good hint that if anything looks like a ganger hideout, it's probably something like this.
Thinking we're in the belly of the beast, y'all.
Should we prepare for battle then?
I don't want to go in guns blazing, but I don't see a peaceful resolution.
Very well.
Why are we choosing to confront this when we could inform the arbiters?
Arbites are currently employed in C Primus. I can't hear you, actually. Ignore everything I'm saying. Damn you, witch.
You made this choice.
You made this choice.
You made this choice.
You made this choice in
Friend,
character
friend.
creation.
Friends.
You made this choice by
this
not
choice.
forcing him into the Skype call.
Foxy made this choice by DMing us, hey, wanna be the 40k?
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's ultimately my fault.
Knew the bullshit we'd put on. Anyway, I don't see anything
went
to
from
that.
GM is always the root of all evil.
We went from being rooftop buddies to now we're at each other's throats. Or you want to kill me.
It's down to the breaks. That's how it works.
It's all good.
Eh,
Speaking of
You have a
wanting
point,
to kill
though.
you, speaking of wanting to kill you, it's actually talking about going out guns blazing. That you don't want to necessarily consider worrying about or thinking about that as well. From out of crevices and folds in the mines or in the area, several individuals come out. None of them point guns at you. All of them have guns very visible.
Well, now we don't have a
Eh.
choice.
Too late to call the arbiters.
One of them says, "Hey, I heard something about one of y'all slinking around. The big one I heard, waving some fancy gun in all the armories looking for ammo. Mind if I see it?"
Damn, it's sad.
There's only one
Keep a
proper
hand on
response to this, excuse me. You may. And I'm
Keep a
gonna
hand on it, sad.
keep a hand on it. What do you mean keep? Oh, sorry. What do you mean over the table? What do you mean keep a hand on it right now? Like chill out, be cool.
Be cool, but don't let him have your weapon.
Oh, okay. Cause I heard we're going in, expect trouble, and this guy's like, "Can I see your gun?" And this is
You don't want any trouble, fellas.
You should jump in, yes.
And he
We're
says,
just leaving.
"Yeah, well, with all that snooping you were doing, looked like you were just thinking about entering. We figured we'd come say hi first."
Last chance to let us leave.
He says, "Look, if you're getting feisty, I'm just following orders."
And whose orders would that be now?
He throws his head back behind him, and the first thing you see out of the shadows is a glowing pair of purple lights. It takes a minute before the figure steps out of them, but the dark-skinned man in front of you, dressed in a ragged outfit that looks like a miner's fit, refitted with some slight flashy additions, would look perfectly normally human, with a dour look on his face, if not for the twin glowing orbs of purple where his eyes should be. Mine.
And to
just-
whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Someone
sorry,
else.
what was that?
Mhm.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if Aria would be able to tell if those are actual prosthetics or not.
Oh, they're not. They don't look like him at all. There's no metal or bionic work around his eyes at all. He would have to be very rich to afford actual full-on prosthetics to get his eyes to just glow like that. And given the state of his outfit, he don't look too rich. In response to Bear says, "And you are," he says, "Granza." Someone else says, "Of Granza's gang." And they all kind of chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
As have I you, Barris Corbin. The Primus hometown hero, man of action, disappeared a couple years ago with new job all of a sudden, just to wind up back on planet with half a CP-12 on his ass.
Oh, goody, I'm famous.
And what can I say? You got the entourage for it.
So, what do we do now?
Talk would be the assumed thing. I'd say gun you all down and we take those flashy weapons you got, but I'm feeling civil today.
Good choice. I can do talk.
Turns around and barely mumbles loud enough for you to hear. Very clearly not intended for you all to hear it, but because the cavern echoes a bit, you can barely hear. Get enough dying around these parts these days. He steps forward into the cavern. Several other the armed individuals all step out and begin to move with him. Two, the closest to you all, stand waiting for you all, indicating that you should all be moving further into the cavern.
Keep your guards up.
Of course, Captain.
But,
You all. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, but I will move into the cavern.
Assuming you all decide to step forward accordingly. The cavern winds not too far forward before dropping rapidly down into a lower level. This place is dug deeply into the space in between level 7 and 8 of this mine sink. However, it is a tunnel network. As you're moving through this tunnel, being guided by this group, you can see several branches out. Hovels where people are hanging, small kitchens, places where arms and other illicit substances are being stored. You can even see a few small places where small buggies and vehicles are being stored. This group has been here for a while, and they are dug in deep. You are eventually brought to a large central room where the armed individuals fan out and begin to busy themselves, some moving crates, some talking with other groups. Franza himself centers on a large, there's no other word for it besides a throne, effectively. It's made of scrap and rough metal, but he sits himself on it and rests his chin on one hand, those glowing eyes still fixed on you, even as he squints one to raise an eyebrow. So, introductions? I was kind enough to give mine already.
Barris Corbin, but it sounds like you knew that.
And your entourage?
A bunch of weirdos that I picked up. I'll leave it to them to tell you who you want.
Oh, fine. We'll make it a game then. Let's start with the eye patch.
Aria is like it just sort of like gives like Baris a "do I play along" kind of look and pulls out her. Well, just literally pulls out her book.
She's one of those.
It's like, blessed be all in the name of the God Emperor. She's unless you stop her, she's just going to start a
Oh,
sermon.
you get a sentence or two in, and he just, oh, Lord of Zealot, please stop.
One of those.
Right. Next, the mute. Unless that's a
Well,
deliberate choice. Unless that's not a personal choice.
well, you kind of hit it on the head. Yeah,
Right.
Laura
the
will
big
do
boy.
as a name. Well, he don't talk too much either.
I missed the last back half of that sentence.
Oh, that is more.
Hmm. Real
Zad,
gaggle of fuck ups you got here. Real gaggle of fuck ups you got here.
Don't I know it?
All right then. Well, it's now that we all know each other and are firmly acquainted, let's get right to the meat of it. What's got you sniffing around my hive?
Let's just say chance of a big score. Bigger than you before you get the wrong idea.
Well, well. Should I be concerned about being job scooped? We got a few big hauls coming in sometime soon. You planning on taking something from us?
I don't think you're in any danger.
On the contrary, the fact that I exist puts me in danger, friend.
I can relate.
Yeah, well, at least you don't look it.
I guess I don't.
But he does look back
You gonna tell
at the he looks back at the large imposing figure of Zadkiel and just. But I guess you ain't that weird about mutants if you're walking around with that one, yeah?
You kind of learn to accept all types.
Yeah, some people think that. The rest are afraid of you. But I've done what I've done long enough to know you can make both work.
Well, I guess I'm some people. So, what's your story?
What, you want the biography at this point? For free? You're funny, Corbin.
Well, I heard you say there's been enough killing around these parts. Care to expound on that?
His mood immediately dowers and just. It's personal.
Something happened I should be aware of?
Nothing I feel like talking about. Besides, even outside of that, you ain't heard? Bomb went off. Politician lost his head. Deadly times.
Word does get around.
Sure does.
You got connections. Any chance you know about either?
He asking if we done it. The answer's no. Fuck we got doing blowing up some random refining rig somewhere not nearby here. Ain't doing shit for us. We got enough conflict here anyway. I ain't sparing that manpower.
Fair enough. Got any idea who did do it?
Hell if I
You got
know.
manpower, you got
CP12's quiet, which is rare for them.
doesn't sound
So?
like them.
Exactly. So, if they're out of the question, could be any number of any dozens of scav fuck-ups, random waste scavengers, who knows what, mutant gangers, insurrectionists, and a city inside job by a politician. Worse. I got
Well.
nothing.
If one's already got his head blown, guess I can't rule that out.
Mm-hmm. Frankly, I don't mind the change as long as traffic keeps coming in. Shipments to move and all that. And I will actually
do
ask
it.
right here, anybody here wants to make like an insight roll? Or for our more psychically aware, I will allow a Sinitians roll or something else like that to see if you want to get a sense of what's actually going on with our dear friend Granza here. Oh, also I have art to show y'all, my bad.
Or
Nothing but a 4 on the wrath die for me on the inside.
I have terrible insight.
While I'm talking to him. Oh,
Ooh.
Ooh.
yeah, it's not bad. I
Oh.
got. Oh my god. I got a 6 icon, including 2 crits.
Nice.
I have a
Nice.
0 for everything. But no crits in either direction.
I'm starting to realize where I fit in with this team dynamic.
3 total with a crit on the raft die.
Varys.
Look,
Nice.
Aria's here to heal your wounds and smack people with a naginata.
So then I'll make this very simple for both of you. Varys, you can clearly tell there's kind of a facade going on here. What he's facading over, hard to tell. Lara, with your psychic sense, it's faint, but there is, how to explain? There is well, the thing he's covering up, at least the basis of it, is sorrow. There's a sadness he's covering or not. Yeah, it's not faint enough to tell what it's about or how deep it is, but Lara definitely gets a faint feeling of a sorrow floating in the air around this person.
I want to say something, but I don't have the knowledge in character.
Seems like he's
That
lost
calls for a run.
someone.
So, can I tell through the facade if he is telling the truth about not doing the bombing and not know?
It doesn't seem like he's holding back anything when it comes to the bombing, I'll say, with your insight roll. It seems like if he's holding up the facade, it's more about it's more that whole whatever, I don't care. Things are what they are. It's life's cool, whatever. It's more of that seems to be the facade.
Okay. So, we free to go then?
Planning on keeping you. We were just talking. What's the plan? I was curious.
It was a good
I
talk.
had a few people.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
yeah. I had a few people around who, well, let's say had some eyes out, even outside of my own hive, and well, let's say I got news about that politician losing his head early for reasons that are only important to me. And the damnedest thing I happened to hear, outside of, well, hearing that a hive got his head blown off, and he twists and leans back more, is seeing 4 weirdos flee the scene with the body. Or try to, at least, before the Arbiters grabbed them.
It wasn't us, if that's what you're thinking. At least we're not the ones who blew his head off.
No, I'm certain that's not the case. But if an incident like that happens, then you not only get to run off with the body, but get taken in by the Arbiters without getting beaten or shot on sight. He leans forward. It means you're either law or close to it. And everyone around turns to you all and starts kind of slowly inching their hands towards their guns more.
I am close. And I'm the one who's keeping the law off your ass. So let us go, and you'll...
Imposing. Part of me wants to make this a roll, actually. No, I won't. I think what I'll intend to do, his response is just imposing. And let's say I believe you, you go running, and then all of a sudden one day you can't keep the law outside of us anymore. We've been living in this hideout, keeping safe from the Arbiters for a long damn time. Be a shame if we suddenly got ratted out. Raided. Letting you leave, well, leaves that as a whole.
There's no good way for me to answer that, is
No. So instead, you do the smart thing, and you'll offer me something useful to let you get out of here alive. I'll even make it easy on you and tell you what I want.
What is it that you're looking for, Brazos?
Tell me everything you
Kranza.
know from the death of. Tell me everything you know from the death of Orme Uten. I don't care who you are, where you got it from. I want to know everything you know. If I think you're holding anything back, if I think what you offer ain't good enough, you all get gunned down right here.
Suppose information is currency around here. So I'll say this. If you're looking for whoever down, you are punching above your runs.
I'm actually going to say, friends who have a sheet up right now, intimidation is a skill in this game, yes?
Yep.
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 You want to go ahead and roll that for me? Or persuasion? One or the other.
I mean, I'm not trying to be intimidating. I'm trying to warn him. You don't know what you're getting into. If
Well, no. This is not you trying to intimidate him personally. This is more, I want to see how well the gravity of your threat is landing to him right now.
That's the thing. Like, I didn't even mean it as a threat. It's more of a warning.
Yeah, I don't mean like your threat towards him for you. I mean like you're saying, like, hey, this is bigger fish. Like, I want to know how seriously he takes that.
Right. Okay. I'll go persuasion, I guess, unless someone. Can
Uh,
anyone roll, or is it just me?
would
We'll
you
say
mind
it's
if
you
I...
because you're talking.
Okay.
Aria, if you want to cut in and add to this for, then you're allowed to roll something. You need to definitely tell me narratively how you're adding into this.
well, I was wondering if Arya could add in a bit of an intimidation,
If you can tell me
assist.
how you were trying to, if you can tell me how you were adding weight to this like statement of like seriousness that Barris is making, I will see if I can allow an intimidation roll here. Same for any of you. If any of you think you can add to this somehow with something, feel free to let me know.
I think it might give away some things, but, I think Arya is going to actually, not just pull out, like, is going to actually, like, not just pull out her book, but also the, symbol of this, the Sororitas. As
It
well,
looks-
yeah, so just sort of like, hey, like, you're messing with a battle sister right here.
He leans in and just, what the hell's that thing? Looks important.
I'm Sister Aria Yun of the Order of the Argent Shroud. Not the Argent Shroud, sorry, of the Argent Dawn.
Hell, that does sound important. Who the hell you running with, Corbin? Second thought, it's better if I don't know.
Sound judgment. Should I still make the roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
See if an assist works.
Yeah, both of you go ahead and make that roll.
Oh, that's
That's
wow.
something.
That's 4 icons plus a crit.
Yep.
So I guess that's a 5.
That
Five total, yep.
is 2 regular icons,
And a Wrath die critical.
so 4 icons.
All right. There's, you are racking up the Wrath die crits in today. Holy hell. So,
Both good and bad.
right.
Mhm.
So, as you do this, while this is happening, you'll see him immediately clench up and lean back as this is recognized. And very seriously, without fully threatening you, he almost like puts a hand up, and several of his guys kind of just begin to back off. Tell me what you know, please. Before you say anything, Barris, hold off. Lara, retry your psychic mastery roll to get a sense on
Oh,
what's happening in
hell
this guy's brain. Hold the result for just a little bit.
I want to
Barris.
sleep in his head.
The timing.
Oh, I knew. I was going to say that
Perfect
before you even
timing.
said anything. We're sharing the brain
Perfect.
pool again. Barris,
Excellent.
talk.
There's only a handful of things that could have made the shot that killed Orme. And there's only a handful, there's not many weapons that could have made that wound. Put them together. All that's possible.
Oh, your mic cut out again.
Ah, shit.
I think your gain might be a bit high, possibly, or your noise gate, maybe.
Oh, I can adjust
Or if you had
that.
some background noise, maybe a fan or something going, it might be possible.
Maybe the computer fan is going.
You're spitting some fire right now. I want to make sure we catch it all.
How many things could have made that shot?
Oh, you're cutting out again.
God damn it! Hang on,
It
let
is
me
gonna
turn
get too
off
low.
noise canceling
Yeah, let's see if that helps you out.
or noise gating.
There you
It's a
go.
new mic.
No, you're fine. We're all good. Like I said, you're spitting fire. I want to make sure people are hearing you. The audience is locked in right now, all right?
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the audience.
Yeah. Let's try this. See, I'm worried there's gonna be like. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't seem like the back.
Hmm.
Okay. There aren't many. There's only a few things.
No.
No.
Fine.
No.
Small sentences. Small
Small
sentences.
sentences.
Small sentences. Yeah, we'll do small sentences. Maybe speak up some as well.
Yeah. Hang on, let me check the.
Because the captions are getting you.
The
Yeah.
captions are
Actually,
getting
you
you.
good. It's
Yeah.
Discord. It's gotta be Discord.
All right. Okay, fifth time the charm.
I believe.
All right.
This is the one.
believe. Not many things could have made killed.
Wait, no, keep going.
And not many weapons could have. When you put them together, all the possibilities.
All right, repeat that last sentence. I got all the possibilities at least.
All the possibilities are out.
Yeah, it's gotta be short sentences, I think, right?
Not even the game wants to. Discord does not want to hear that anything's out of Orme's league.
Honestly.
Or,
Well, it's fine.
Ground-
We'll carry forward
Grounds
with the
is
capture to
late,
make sure we can hear you at least.
All the possibilities that are left are. God damn.
Yeah. No, it's just not. It's not like a good long sentence for me, friend. I'm sorry.
Discord.
I'm
All
sorry.
the possibilities that are left are out of your league.
Hey!
Wait a minute.
I just gotta say, like, I'm in.
Oh, that's right. Okay, hold on. Gotta keep the thing moving. I'm sorry. Gotta keep the thing moving. Okay. So, in response to that, he's just like, well, listen, I hate to say it, but I might have been born out of my league, unfortunately. My interest in this is personal. Damn it. He kind of like stops talking for a moment, and Lara, what's that psychic mastery roll looking like if you made it?
5 total.
5 total successes. You can see that again under the facade he is maintaining, which he's definitely having a harder time maintaining. There is definitely an abject sorrow he is holding back. He is trying to reckon with a sorrow that is very complicated in his heart. He has very mixed feelings about someone. Something recently has affected him closely. Not in the kind of close way where you immediately recognize it's close. The kind of close that hits you once you really sit with it. And he's been trying not to sit with it recently. If you want to have a moment to let the party know what you're tapping in on, you're more than welcome to have that before I continue to respond.
All I'm really getting from him is that he has lost someone, and he is refusing to really face whatever is happening.
Can Barris, like, attempt
Can Barrett's attempt?
to put some people?
Attempt to put some pieces together is what I think you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it why is it only giving out on me? God damn.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
Weird.
Turk is correct. Assessment.
Okay.
What?
All right. Bet. It's fine. We'll figure it out. So, as we're doing that, actually, you know what? So, I think if your intent is to put pieces together, then yes, give me one last insight roll, Barris, and we'll see how well you put it together.
Oh, I mean, I was just gonna like.
Just gonna like.
Discord, why?
Oh, throw out a guess.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead. Throw your guess
Also,
out.
with that good, it's holy crap.
Oh, so that's a 3. So that's 3 icons with. So 5 icons and. Oh, look at that! Another Wrath critical.
On the Wrath.
Perfect. In that case, go ahead and throw out your guess, and then I will let you know how good you're feeling about that guess before, like you say it. You say it out. You say it aloud.
All right. Well, I was just gonna guess that he had some. He knew Orme in that capacity,
Okay.
or
So,
that they were close,
oh, so then.
and he's trying to not grieve Orme's death.
Okay, so in character, you feel confident enough to say that out loud as a solid guess based on your intuition, and I'm not thinking it's incorrect. In fact, behind the scenes, what I'm saying is at least half of that statement, possibly a bit more than half of that statement, is absolutely on the money.
All right.
Also, by the way, if like someone else wants to tap in and like talk along with Barris to help him out with this, that is definitely welcome here.
Granza, how did you know Orme?
Truth is, I barely know him. Should I? Separate question.
What do you mean?
You're awfully concerned for his demise for one who is not connected.
He looks up and says, "A son should care about his father."
Jesus. Or Emperor.
Who is this Jesus? Heretic!
We're looking for his. Promise you we will find him.
That's supposed to bring me some kind of solace? Does it get me out of this hellhole? To make me not have to run a gang to get just enough money to eat? To make me not suddenly responsible for 30 or 40 people's lives?
It's supposed to keep you from looking. Because if you do that, I guarantee 30.
Well, then I'll alleviate your fears by letting you know that I have no plans to go after anything. You think I don't know that when a politician's head disappears in the middle of broad daylight, it's not bigger fish than I can fry? You had information. I could tell because you were associated with it. I got that info, and I appreciate you sharing it.
Take care of yourself, Granza. And your men.
You headed back to C Primus?
That's our next destination. With my head low.
Then any luck that I would need to keep myself alive here, I'll offer to you for now. You'll need it.
Don't I know it?
Out of curiosity. It's nothing. However, you find yourself back this way, and I'm thinking about causing trouble for me and my troops. Swing by again. See if you can't trade more information.
It was a good talk. And I promise you no one.
All right then. I'll hold you to that. Otherwise, you'll have us to answer to. That said, get out of here before I change my mind about something.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah. And he kind of like motions to the other individuals to, like, you know, walk you back through the tunnels and let you all make your way out. And you all can watch let the light slowly fade on this scene. Friends, I have one last thing to ask you all, and I'll ask this above the table. Obviously our next stop is CP Primus, and we've had a lovely, fun travel episode full of some great RP here. What I will say to you is the following. You all have earned a bit of a treat. You all don't have to receive it because it's not the kind of thing you need to receive, but it could be cool to have it happen because I like the fact that we've had a nice chill episode with some simple stuff happening. In order for that thing to happen, we have to montage a bit ahead till y'all get into CP Primus, or y'all get to C Primus, mostly because y'all already have at least one contact y'all want to make there. I will keep that scene brief because it's only really a matter of dealing with part of that scene, but if y'all want it, y'all have earned it. Y'all can say no, and we can fully just do our end scene right here with y'all leaving Granza. We can let that be an open thing that will happen next episode, no question. But if y'all want it, it can happen right here. We'll take a vote one at a time. We'll start with Dan. What are you thinking?
I am okay. Kind of letting that be its own thing.
Okay. So we're cool with that's one vote for rock out and end here. Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Meg.
I don't want to like shift the tone.
I think I'm okay with it here too.
All right. That's two. Michelle.
Cool either way.
One open. Turk.
Though a majority has been formed, I do think I can actually join it. I think as much as I hate cliffhangers, I love them as well. And so C Primus can be the beginning of next time.
And
See, this is why I hate going first, because I don't want...
listen, hey, you decided to wave. It's fine. In that case, let us settle ourselves into an end. The scene fades with our acolytes stepping away from stepping out of the underhives of B. Tertius and slowly moving their way more towards the outside again. Their lander or their Goliath truck refueled and their travel prepared to make their way towards Mindsink C Primus, where more answers await to many questions that have been raised. With that said, we bring tonight's episode to a close. Friends, this has of course been By His Shadowed Peace. I have been our host for the evening, Young Foxy, and this has been my absolutely wonderful cast, who I will let you tell you who they are one last time, as well as where they can be found on the internet, who they played tonight, and briefly, what other things they have coming up, if they don't mind letting us know. I will go in a slightly altered order to the way that I went last time. In fact, we'll just do the reverse order last time, and let's start off with the incredible and incomparable Meg Mysteria.
Hello everybody, I am Meg and/or Meg Mysteria. You can find me as such on Twitch, on Twitter, on Itch, and I'm on Blue Sky now, so you can come find me over there. As far as what is coming up for me next week, I'll be on Singularity Roleplay on the 12th with our next installment of Camp Runners Cross, which is our Gay Kids Go to Camp, but it's actually a slasher. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And then on Thursday, that same next week, I'll be right back here for our next installment of Last Transmission. Well, they are finding more people.
Yeah.
I don't know if the people are happy about it.
Some of them are gonna die, I'm pretty sure, soon if we're not careful. And we're not very careful.
Someone dying in a...
Nah.
People dying in my sci-fi horror game? What?
People die when they are killed.
Couldn't be me. But then
Anything else from you, Meg?
just rounding out the rest of the month on the 17th. It's going to be a very busy week next week. Is Branking Neon once again over on Singularity Roleplay, our City of Mist intrigue mystery game, where I also cause problems intentionally.
You do be doing that sometimes, it's true.
I do be doing that. I do be living that life.
Doobie-doobie-doo.
That's me.
Outside of that, we'll swing back over to my other lovely, awesome internet friend who is the greatest. I'm, of course, talking about God's favorite Marine, XXVII.
Hello, it's I, XXVII, the whole time. I bet you didn't know it because of my clever disguise. But I was, of course, playing Zadkiel Delos, God's favorite Marine. Or Woodlow, he's probably up there. Maybe. Yeah, hopefully. Anyway, if you want to see more of me and the things I do, and strange as that is, you can find me tomorrow over on Lost Caravan, where I will be in the Delta Green campaign, Impossible Landscapes, as we begin Season 2 of that. Well, we began it, but now it's Episode 2, and the rest of the group's finally getting their stuff together, and it should be a fun time. If it's not goofy, it's horrifying, and so it's very similar to this game. Beyond that, on the 14th, I'll be here for Last Transmission, which I'm very excited to be back for. And on the 18th, I'll be here with Oathsworn, which, of course, is oats are indeed going to be warmed as we begin the real meat and bones, as the players, or rather the heroes, have 60 days to stop the oncoming end of the Oath of Peace, and should be a fun time. Players love deadlines. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. You're all incredible. Support the awesome people you're seeing on your screen here, and continue to be the awesome people I know you could be, or else I'll beat you up, or something. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you have a great night.
What if they're in...
I mean, that's true, but then they pay us for it. But that's not that's a separate thing. We'll talk about that in the next org meeting. Before that, though, I want to go over it and slide it over, up and across the overlay to yet another wonderful and incredible friend of mine. I am, of course, talking about the great and wonderful Michelle, Neon Light's one and only.
Hello, it's me, Michelle. I don't social media, so don't go looking for me there, but you might can find me here. Which, in fact, you will find me here tomorrow for, we are coming back with, once again, A Blade's Will, our rotating Naruto one-shot campaign with the Alliance of Heaven, so be ready, I guess. Other than that, you can find me here on Monday for The World Within You, where I play an actual cat. Yes, I am already a cat in real life, but we'll be an actual physical cat in game. Other than that, you can catch me on Wednesday for our Stardust posting of Stardust Ghosts. Yes, it's a pre-record, but it's gonna be awesome. So that's it for me.
Oh, always a pleasure to have you along, Michelle. I think you will always have a spot at a lovely table I love seeing the way you play off amongst the group. Before I gush too much, I will slide off to the last member of our table, but nowhere near, of course, the bottom of anyone's cast list if you know what you're good for. I'm, of course, talking about, once again, Neolite's one and only, Lan the Dan.
Hey, that's me. Dan.
Right,
Man.
yes.
That way is something happening.
No, it's more just the mic cutting again, it's all.
Yeah, I figured it was something like that. Wait, Barris Corbin. God damn it. You can find me at Twitter.com. I refuse to call it X. But at Lan the Dan 9 letters, 1 word. Coming up, I am also in the world within. It is a much more colorful than the dark future. A lot more fun. And Bomber Cyberpunk just came out, so it's that aesthetic. That's what you're into. I play a guitar player that is about as. And then about 2 weeks out from that, we'll be back for Neon Afterglow. The very first campaign, it is every 4 weeks. So sure to mark. And I'll be here back there for that. I played, and we're going on a trip.
Seattle. Don't worry about how we're getting there. You'll find out on the screen.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Mwah.
But yeah, that's all I got. I hope my microphone stayed on for all.
It didn't. It stayed on for a good chunk of it, though.
God
I
damn.
promise. Listen, we'll fix your hater-ass mic some other time, but before we get the hater-ass mic, I'll do a quick little outro and let you know. Friends, I'm Young Foxy, a.k.a. Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Billy's finest. I'm all over the internet at Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXII. Sometimes there's an underscore in the middle, so if you can't find one, look for the other. I am around all of the internet, usually here on Unite's Roleplay. Next place you'll see me on your screens is this Saturday coming up for another round of Bite Mark's Lunar Pulse. The game where I am a boomer cryptid werewolf. It's great. Then you'll catch me right around again next Wednesday for Stardust Ghosts one more time. On next Thursday for Last Transmission, coming around again to hang out with the incredible Meg Mysteria and the rest of the cast there. And then swinging around for Neon Afterglow again a little bit after that. And of course, rounding out with The Will in 2 weeks on the 20th. Outside of that, that's really all we got going on here. This has been an incredible and incomparable game. Please make sure to support all the people you see here on your screens, as mentioned before. You all are lovely, incredible people who have hung out with us for a great time. We will mention that we'll see more Bioshadow Peace back in exactly 4 weeks, and hopefully we'll see this mystery finally start to give some reward to our tirelessly working acolytes who constantly avoid peril and other things to the betterment and to the detriment. That said, thank you all for a wonderful evening. We will catch you all in the future. Take care of yourselves and each other, and have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.